What's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and I'm back again with another comic book rant. Now, today I want to talk about Sandman Universe presents HellBlazer. Now, this is a DC Black Label one shot, and basically it's from what I take from after reading this the second time, and then checking the back out, it looks like this story is I think this story is gonna lead into the Books of Magic issue 14, and then it also is starting up a new ongoing series that comes out November 27th, and that's going to be John Constantine HellBlazer issue number 1, and it says it's going to be a new ongoing series. So but basically, there's aspects of Tim Hunter in this book, which I've never read the Books of Magic, but from what I read in the back, that Tim Hunter, he's the main star of Books of Magic, so I think that's where John Constantine and him are going to collide in that issue. So it almost makes me want to grab that Books of Magic issue 14 just to see where the story goes after this, because I had a fantastic time with this. I read about 2-3 times, and I think it got better after I read it, because I started picking up more on John Constantine's accent and all his jokes, and just this issue really gets into how much of a selfish piece of crap John Constantine is, and he really only cares about himself in the end, and he is willing to sacrifice his best friend to save the world. Man, but the art in this was fantastic. The writing from Simon Spurrier, I really enjoyed it. I think he really wrote John Constantine spot on. I really hope that he's gonna be the one writing the ongoing series coming forth, because I really enjoyed his writing. Art by Marcio Takara, colors by Chris Peter. I never read the old school HellBlazer, but I've seen the old school artwork, and I think that this is pretty damn close to how you're gonna get that vibe of that kind of, mixed with the old school, but it's got that new feeling to it, so oh man, I really don't want to give too much out of this book, just because I really think you should pick it up if you're any type of HellBlazer fan, and you thought, oh, I'm gonna just skip this because you think it's a one shot. I think this issue is a big part of the ongoing series that's gonna be to come. I really enjoyed it. It made me definitely want to add it to my pull list. But basically, it starts off with the world ending, like I said, and it's just him and his buddy Cass, his best friend Cass, and he's willing to sacrifice his buddy just to save the world, because the whole time he knows that his friend is able to basically, what he does is he tells his buddy Cass, he's like, hey, can you go get me a goat so I can perform this ritual to stop what's going on in in London, because it's pretty chaotic. There's all these monsters, and it's just from this page you can tell this artwork is beautiful. Cass comes back with a pig head. He's like, I couldn't find a goat, John, but I got this. And I didn't notice this the first time I read it, but I knew when he sends his friend in, he knows he's not gonna make it out, and it's all BS what he's telling his friend. But his friend has the faith, so that's like a powerful thing. And basically he starts writing on the pig's head. He's like, fuck, because he knows he's making up bullshit to his dude. And he's, like I said, he's willing to sacrifice his friend to save the world. He even says, he's like, I'll put it in my head as, you know, it's one person to save millions. He's like, but, you know, deep down I know I'm a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? This story really gets into, you know, John Constantine as a man, and how he's willing to just, you know, take the easy route, man, and not do what a real hero would do. And I don't know, you know, kind of try to figure out any possible way so that people don't get hurt. You know, he's willing to sacrifice a couple people, or, you know, his best friend, to save the world. And I thought that was crazy, man. And after all that, though, you know, his friend dies, but it puts him into a state where he's about to die after, you know, taking everything out. And he, what happens was there's like a ricochet, and like a taxi sign ends up actually going, like, going in his side. He rips it out. I think it goes into his lungs, actually. I think it hits his lungs. And you know, John Constantine, being a heavy smoker, and all his old, you know, some of his cancer stories, that's gonna get him. And basically, for the gist, like, the younger version of Tim Hunter comes, and it's like he's a younger version, and while he's like, am I delirious? And he's like, no, we're ghosts from the past or something. And he's like, well, look out front. And like, the young version of Tim Hunter sees that, like, his older self goes nuts, and he's a big part of the reason of the upcoming apocalypse. So man, that's where I think, you know, Books of Magic is gonna lead into, because it seems like, you know, Tim Hunter brings on the end of the world at one point in his life. Like I said, I've never read those books or those issues, so I don't know much about that. I just know a bit about John Constantine, and that ain't much either. But basically, John Constantine's about to die, and this old man appears. And, you know, you kind of, I didn't know that, I just noticed the scars and stuff, but when you take a good look at him, he kind of has some of the similar scars that John has, the younger version. Basically, you come to find out that this is an older version of John Constantine, and it's a version that has sold his soul, and he wants it back. And you know, as John's, like, he's dying, he's out of breath, he starts naming off things that only he would know. And the older version, he starts like finishing John's sentences, because he's like, the younger version, he's dying and he's barely getting the words out. And, you know, he figures out, he's like, damn, he's like, okay, so you're me. And he's thinking to himself, he's like, this version of me, he's a smug, happy version. He's happy, and he has no regrets. Like, he can't believe it. And it's just, I really enjoyed this issue, and it gets to a point where, you know, the old man, he's like, you're about to die, John. You know, why don't you keep that soul in the family, and sell it to me, and I'll fix you up. Don't worry, I'll fix you all good up. It's an insurance policy. Let's keep it in the family deal. And he knows he has barely a word left, and he knows he's out of time, and he doesn't want to die. And but the thing deep down, he knows that there's something behind it. He knows there's a clause in that agreement, and it's gonna bite him in the ass in the end. And like I said, though, he's out of time. He can barely get out words. He takes the deal. And you know, as he fixes him up, he says, you know, just you'll wake up, and like, I think he wakes up in a different reality almost, and he's like, you just gotta be the best version of yourself. And, you know, it goes through some more stuff, and he wakes up in like a mental hospital, actually, and he figures his way to get out of there, though. But man, I don't want to give too much more of this, because I really think you should pick it up. I mean, for the gist of it, there's still more of this book to go. Like, I could keep talking for another 5-10 minutes, honestly, because it was a good sized book. I'd say it was almost it was definitely worth the $4.99. For it was treated as a one shot for sure. You know, usually the DC books or the annuals and stuff, they're a little bit thicker. But I really enjoyed this, and I really think that if you're any type of John Constantine fan, you should pick this up. But yeah, if you didn't, check this out. If you can pick it up at your comic book shop, and if not, try to get it digital or something, and definitely be on the lookout, because later this month the the ongoing is going to be starting up. If you guys can hit that like button on your way out, hit the subscribe button, and be on the lookout for new content coming daily. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.